So I filled in these areas. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off the tray part of it and then just do the build primer on the edge. This I'm going to do the whole thing. These I'm going to do top only with build primer. I actually used a hammer and flattened out a lot of these kind of divots where the screw holes were. So I think it's going to sand a lot easier. And I'm really been having, I don't want to say fun, but using the special hammer and dollies to kind of smooth things out. I'm getting pretty good at it. I wouldn't say, let me start on your fenders or anything like that, but for a lot of this micro stuff, instead of filling it, I'm actually popping out the dents, which is pretty cool. I even popped out a dent that was here and here. So pretty good. I'm kind of happy that I'm getting better at that. So some of this stuff is actually kind of metal sticking out, and I was in such a frenzy of painting and, is it going to epoxy? Is it going to build primer? Is it going to paint and clear coat? What's going on, that it was a lot, right? I had probably over 100 parts that I've been painting, and I kind of missed the boat on this one. I could have knocked some of those edges off and got that a little cleaner. So what I'm going to do is try to use as much build primer as possible in certain areas to just kind of fill up these two spots here and here, and here too on this little edge, because that's the edge. This whole side that you're seeing here is upside down, but this is the side you would see, and then there's an armrest on top. So get that as filled as possible that I could just lightly sand and we're good to go, and we're kind of covering everything and we're not going any deeper. So that's kind of the idea. Same thing with this. I got this all cleaned out. So I just want to put a little bit of a build and then a little bit more in this area, and then just smooth it out as easy as possible. And not, I'm not starting with low grits. I'm going to be starting with, let's say, 600 or something like that. Because this build primer actually, it comes off pretty easy when you're sanding. So it's easy to work with, we'll put it that way. And so that's what we're going to be trying to do on these. And then these are kind of ready to go. This is going to be all orange here, orange, black pearl basically. That is orange, but I think I'm going to paint later when I paint everything else, just in case a color match or something like that. Any kind of issues. So the rest of this, I'm going to use my black, and then if I decide to, maybe throw some blue on a few things and kind of call it a day. The blue I'm using is a kind of a pearlized metallic engine blue, so which I'll only use on the engine, wouldn't use it for anything else, but that's where it needs to go. And there's little things like here where I got an oil or a grease fitting where I'm going to have to fill the sides and then spray all this and get it solid. Some of this moving stuff, I got to figure out what the best way to hang it is, so it allows me to get in there. But besides that, we're getting really close. After this whole batch here, the only other things I really have to do is, once I know my drive, I might not even use this. I might have a whole custom drive shaft. So things like that. I bought some electronic window things that are supposed to bolt in, but they don't. They're really made for a pickup truck, and they're not the same. So I got to verify what's what, and if I need some kind of special flange plate or something, or maybe I need to steal these and put them on the other one. I'm not really sure. So I got to figure that out. So if I do use electronic ones, then I got to make brackets for that and then paint that. And then if not, I got to restore these. So I haven't figured out the heater, haven't figured out the washer, wipers, and the washer. I got two washers because someone else gave me one too. But I'm sure they're like 15, 20 bucks and I could just buy a new one, so probably do that. So yeah, we're doing pretty good. That's kind of a good all-around update. So it's been kind of interesting because normally I've been shooting in 105 degrees with direct sunlight, making it even hotter in the parts. And so I tried to thin out the epoxy, not because of the heat or anything like that, but because of the, you know, some of these are moving parts and stuff, and I just wanted to get a thin coat. I didn't really want to get it on thick. Well, today it's like 85 degrees, and then there's been a lot of clouds, and so like it's like, you know, what, 30-degree difference, and I'm trying to paint with thin paint. Like it's been a little bit crazy. And so two of my bigger parts that I have up here have a lot of drips and stuff on them because I barely did like 5 or 10%. It's just a little too drippy. So I'll sand those, paint them black when I paint these next. So I'm just going to let those dry, sand them down. And then these parts, it's just now starting to heat up and get to the point where the rest of this should be fine. So to what I'm used to. Alright, so I got everything painted except for my 2 drip pans, which you can see is horrible. The 2 pieces that should have been the perfect ones and everything else should have been difficult. No, it's the ones that didn't go well. So I decided, since I got everything out here, I might as well just switch my needle and put an extra coat of build primer on this stuff. So, and I wanted it to lay flat so I get a nice thick coat on. And I'm trying to get this as thick as possible, so I'm going to keep hitting that and keep hitting this one corner as much as possible. I'll probably do these one more time and then I'm done, and then I'm going to focus just on these two with everything I have left. And that'll be it for today. But you know, we're back to over 100 in the sun. I couldn't tell you what it is, but it's going pretty well. And for whatever reason, I have no idea, but I believe I talked about my compressor not working, and basically this regulator, it like built up a lot of water, and then it was just blowing out like 100% instead of letting that water out whenever appropriately. It was just blowing out, and the thing was like flying all over the place. And so I have it tie strapped right now just in case it does that, because I don't want stones flying up and hitting the car. So I didn't use it for like, I don't know, 6-8 weeks because I was waiting for a part to come in, and all of a sudden it's working. So I have no idea what's going on. The part should be here any day, but it's working. And so for right now, I'm just going to leave it. I don't know what the deal was, why it wasn't working before. I couldn't get more than 40 pounds of pressure in the tank, even though it's supposed to be going up to 125, because that clear hose was just blowing air the whole time. And what's weird about California Tools is under warranty, they'll talk to you. Not out of warranty, they won't talk to you. They won't return your calls. And then the company that they have set up to sell parts from, they don't know enough about it to troubleshoot for you. So they're like, well, call California Tools and ask for, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then you do that, and they still don't return your call. So I love the compressor, but they switched their tech support in the last like 2-3 years, and it just totally sucks, to the point where it's like I probably wouldn't buy another one because their tech support is so bad. However, there's not much wrong to go on. You know, it's a freaking compressor. Engine's been working great, or the pump's been working great. Regulator I've had problems with, and a lot of problems with this automatic bleeder valve. Of course, they don't make that part, and they don't make this part either. It's not their part. So the stuff I'm complaining about is actually they don't make. So it is what it is. So I still have these sitting over here, and good thing I decided that that was just too much to handle, because as you could tell, that's a lot of parts, and there's only so much I could put on the hanging rack, not only in here but outside while I'm spraying. I had to do a touch up on this thing because when I had it hanging, it was, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches, 4 inches off the ground, and I couldn't get underneath to spray correctly. And so I had a bunch of drip marks and stuff like that. So I sanded all the drip marks, threw a little black on there, sprayed this. This is going to get covered anyways, but I just want it sealed. So I just got it all sprayed and sealed, and don't really care exactly what it looks like there because it will be covered. So we're going to spray every 15 minutes here until I run out of product, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah. So I was trying to figure out ways to get these long poles to be hung in the air, and I finally figured it out. Take my 10-foot ladder, throw it on the roof, and then I got long enough that I could get under it when I need to, and get these things painted. So this is working out pretty good. I'm going to do tri-coat on these, black, clear. And I got a few other pieces I'm doing, cleaning up some of the other pieces that had some drips. And got a few pieces that I'm going to do a little more black and clear on. I don't know what happened, but for some reason I missed spots. Maybe it was the way it was hanging. All the other pieces that I've done didn't have those issues, so I don't know what was going on that day, but we'll get those finished. And these still need to get sanded, but we're doing pretty good. So this is, you know, until I do my differential and stuff like that, this is the last of the parts that I know of that I have to paint, besides like my brake pedal, because that's still in the truck. So I think we'll be pretty much 98% done on all the restoration of parts. And then we just need to do the van itself. So Pretty good, pretty good. All right, I've got some beautiful looking pieces. Everything's all nice and shiny black. And we got 3 black pieces, which there's no way possible for me to actually bring them in until they're fully dry. So I'm just going to leave this out here till 6, 7 o'clock at night. Hopefully they don't fall. Seems to be 0 wind in the middle of the afternoon, which means the temperatures really drop, so that's good. It's still, 97 degrees or something. But in any case, things are going well. I've been using my cup. That's been good. I'm thinking about doing a 2.0 PPP system. PPS. So we'll see. I think I'll try it. Because, you're spending, let's say, I don't know, we'll just say 50 cents to average it, 50 cents a cup. Or you're spending somewhere around $2 to $3 a cup, but there's no cleaning up, no anything. Well, supposedly no cleaning up. That's not my experience, but we'll see. So I returned all my PPS1, if that's what they're called, and I can get a pretty good deal on PPS2. I just need to get the adapters. I think I'm going to also buy a smaller cup. This is kind of big. For my other gun. So all these parts I've been spraying with one gun, which is my primer gun, just because I don't have cups or adapters for my other gun. So, but yeah, so looking and feeling good. All right, I got these finally done, and was it worth doing a whole second process? Absolutely. These things are pretty flawless at this point. They feel really good, really smooth, ready to go. Especially these. I mean, that's the eye candy, so it needed to be perfect. But these, weren't horrible in the sense that, they're bad and rusted or whatever. It's just, it's a industrial, not super finessed stuff from the factory. But I was able to really get it look nice and nice curves and not weird clumps of metal and all that kind of stuff. So that really came out nice. And then this was definitely worth doing. Got it super smooth. I think there's like one little dimple that I noticed in the whole thing, but it is what it is. I'm not going to go a third run here, but and this is very difficult to sand. It's just awkward with all the corners and stuff like that. You can't really get around the whole thing because it's too much friction, and so the sandpaper won't move. Where if you just do like a side and work around, it will actually go. So yeah, but this was totally worth doing it because this is really an eye candy piece. These are eye candy pieces, and I'll take the best of these three and put it towards the front where the door is, and take the worst of the pieces and put it towards the back. But in general, I'm super happy with those compared to where they were. So yeah, really, really well done on this. And I'm also working on trying a PPS2 system. I figured either the PPS1 system, which probably is all generic and made by other companies at this point, because I don't think you could buy it from 3M, were either just bad and failing, or maybe I was over tightening the cap because I had so many failures that I kept tightening more. Where this new system it's like a quarter turn and then it locks, and so there is no tightening. So if it was user error, I'm assuming this will be better. And I got some decent prices. Now I had to buy a new adapter, and it turns out, here it is here. The adapter barely fits because instead of the threads ending like this, there's like an extra 1/4 inch that comes out. And so, but you get a good 1.5 turns, and I talked to the company and they're like, yeah, that's pretty much how it is. And you want to make sure it's tight so it doesn't fall off, but not tight enough that you strip it. So we're just waiting for the cups to come in and kind of go from there. And then I got both my cups back in play. This one I'm just going to use with the regular cup for primer, and then this one I'll use the cup system so I could just keep flipping through black, orange, clear, whatever I need to do. So really psyched about that. But yep, we're moving forward, and I do have the frame here, which I cleaned up pretty well. I still got some areas I got to get into that I couldn't get with the grinder, but I got most, like literally 95% of it done. This is done. I just got to take the rubber off. I'm waiting to talk to a company about how pliable their stuff is to get around these really big ends, because that would not fit over that. In fact, I can't even get these off. I'd have to actually cut them. So I'm assuming these have hardened over time, and maybe the new ones are pliable and I could get through. So that's what we're doing there. And still waiting to hear back from my engine guy. And I'm going to try to get that done this week if possible. It's kind of dragged on way too long for me. So we're going to hop on that and keep you up to date.